backpack versus sling pack versus hip pack. Which one is right for you and your fishery and style? These are Fishpond products that I currently have and use. Disclaimer up front, nobody should have as much fishing gear as me. I don't think you need to own all of this stuff. But for your destination and fishing style, there's probably a product that's right for you. If you're watching this video, chances are you're learning how to get more organized, get your gear more efficient so you can be more effective and spend time wisely out on the water. Now, the products that I'm gonna just discuss very casually here are the Fishpond Thunderhead Sling, the Fishpond Submersible Lumbar. All of these are waterproof, submersible. The Wind River Roll Top Backpack, and then the Fishpond Submersible Thunderhead Backpack. Now, there's obviously different applications for each of these, but if you're wondering, hey, how do I store my gear? I'm a do-it-yourself angler. I want to be organized, but I also need room for XYZ, lunch, water bottle, big camera, net, that kind of thing. Let me start with my favorite one. After everything I've tried and tested, the Fishpond Thunderhead Submersible Sling is my absolute favorite bag. This is the oldest one. They still might make the cutthroat orange. They quit making it for a while, now it's back. It's got the old school zipper. They've since upgraded that with a slightly different zipper. But the Sling, to me, for my trout fishing excursions, has become my favorite. I used this one all year last year, wade fished a lot. I like the pack itself, but there's one thing that the Sling has a huge advantage over versus the hip pack, and is if you're gonna carry a net or a long-handled net, the Sling is really easy to get your long-handled net out. And then inversely, let's go ahead and just get this thing off. And if I net a fish or I have my net out, I do have to oftentimes take the pack off, but it's not that big a deal. You can get it back in there, but a lot of times I take it off. The main thing with this is the Sling pack. I can roll this thing around and I can get into my gear like so. And especially if I've got one of those handy inserts, there's probably a product linked in the video description. Go watch the insert video from Fishpond. It's much better than what I can do. I can get into my tackle. I've got a little pocket in here. I can get my leader, my tippet, change flies. I can zip it back up, and without any fuss, I can get in and out of there even with the net on. The problem with the Lumbar pack for me in carrying a large net, and it looks real nice when it's on and fishes pretty well when it's on, but the problem becomes, look at that, customers are already calling, wanting to order these Fishpond packs. Phone's ringing off the hook. Same system, so it slides down right in there. For those that haven't been able to handle these in person, it's a really nice net system. I don't like the retainers and that kind of stuff. I like just sliding it in there. So, okay, pack is on. I'm gonna do the waist. I've got my shoulder to support a little bit of the weight. That way it doesn't flop around when I'm fishing, catch a fish. The net comes out pretty well, okay? So I net my fish. The net goes back in pretty well, right? So that's a little bit easier. But the problem is when I get into this pack, where I fish, I have to carry a fairly large, long-handled net. We get some really good-sized trout. So getting in here to get my flies and my tackle, as you can see, is pretty inconvenient with that big net right there. Sure, I could take the net out, but over time, I've just gravitated back towards this for most of my technical trout angling when I'm carrying a long-handled net. They both make great saltwater packs, but if you're fishing in an area, maybe you're creek fishing or you're fishing in an area, or you're one of those folks that don't carry a net, this is great. This is super handy. It's really nice getting in and out of here. I gotta tell you, and I've got the insert. Let me show you what the insert looks like. I did a full review on this. You can find it on our channel. But there's an insert with dividers. It's a pretty handy system. But those are the pros and cons of those two packs for technical trout fishing. The Sling, I do not currently have a divider system in here, so it's just kind of an empty bag. And you do lose some of the technical features with lack of multiple pockets, lack of organization in these waterproof submersible models. So that's kind of a downside. But since mine will see saltwater, I tend to just stay within the submersible realm.
Is that what you were wanting?
Now, the backpacks don't have any kind of net system to hold it, so the backpacks are going to be more for steelheading on foot, general travel, or long excursions where you need to take more gear and they're less attuned to like the technical trout angler. Trout angler being I'm changing flies, I'm retying light lines, and I'm trying to match the hatch at various times of the day, and I might need more access to small tackle items. You can, however, on the backpacks, both the Thunderhead and the Wind River bag, they do have a lot of technical add-ons here, so you can keep nippers and tippet and floating and that kind of stuff relatively handy. So maybe if you needed a backpack, you could then put a small fly box in your shirt pocket or something like that. I've not found that to be nearly as convenient. So that's my general take on these packs. No net holders on the backpacks, lots of space. Watch the review of these two if you're still intrigued by backpacks. Watch the review where I compare and contrast these two. But in the end, if you're carrying a long-handled net for technical trout angling, man, this old pack right here that I've been using for years is the winner. I love the organization and kind of the mobility of this, but man, my net just gets in the way when I try to dig into that pack. So hopefully that's helpful. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel for more product reviews and thoughts on gear.